All right, so now we move on to the co-main event of the night. This is Donald Cowboy Cerrone versus Niko Price. I hate to say it, but I don't really get excited about watching Cowboy Cerrone fight anymore. Yes, he's fun. Yes, he's exciting and he's explosive. But you have to understand something. Cowboy Cerrone has only won 4 of his last 12 fights. And he's been knocked out in 6 of those last 12 fights as well. I'm not a guy that wants to see fighters have a bunch of CTE and a bunch of other brain problems like that. I don't want to see guys going out there and turning into a potential BJ Penn. So for me, this fight is not exciting. I'm not super happy about this one. I really wish that we could see Cowboy just walk away. Yeah, he looked good in his last fight against Anthony Pettis, but Anthony Pettis still beat him, and Anthony Pettis is kind of on a little bit of a decline too. So let's jump into Donald Cowboy Cerrone a little bit. Donald Cowboy Cerrone, even with only winning 4 of his last 12 fights, is somehow ranked 14th in the welterweight division. He's an American with 36 wins and 15 losses on his record. He's 37 years old, 6 feet 1 inches tall with a 73-inch reach. Cowboy Cerrone is a former professional Muay Thai fighter. Interestingly enough, part of his shorts he likes to keep from his Muay Thai fighting days, he likes to wear in all of his fights. Prior to the Reebok deal, you would see Cowboy incorporate part of his Muay Thai shorts into his MMA shorts somehow. And since then, since the Reebok deal, he hasn't really been able to do that. But if you see his undershorts, you'll see parts of that Muay Thai shorts sticking through. He's got that on the undershorts there, so he does have them with him still. A little weird tradition that he's had going on for his entire MMA career. So Donald Cerrone made his way into the UFC from the WEC merger, where he was at from 2007 until that merger. He made his UFC debut back in 2011 at UFC 126, and he's been here ever since. In his UFC debut, he defeated Paul Kelly by submission in round 2. What I find interesting about this is if you look on ESPN.com, if you look at the fighter profiles, they have Donald Cerrone listed as a submission fighter. Donald Cerrone does have a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but he considers himself a Muay Thai style fighter with Jiu-Jitsu. Given the fact that Donald Cerrone has been with the UFC since 2011, Donald Cerrone has had a lot of fights. He holds the UFC record for the most wins inside of the octagon, and that is 23 wins there. Donald Cerrone has a total of 35 fights in the UFC, where he went 23-12 overall. He is currently on a 4-fight losing streak, most recently losing to Anthony Pettis by decision. The other 3 fights before that, though, were all knockouts. He has some really impressive wins to his MMA record right now. He has a win over former UFC champion Eddie Alvarez and former UFC champion Benson Henderson. He also has a win over Ali Quinta and Platinum Mike Perry. I just explained to you that Donald Cerrone considers himself more of a Muay Thai style fighter with Jiu-Jitsu. What's interesting is that Donald Cerrone actually has 17 wins by submission, and he only has 10 knockouts on his record and 9 decision wins on his record. He has been knocked out 7 times in his career. Most of those have been in the later end here. That's what concerns me. I have a problem with that. But he has lost 7 times by decision, and he's only been submitted once ever in 40-plus fights. Now he goes against Niko the Hybrid Price. Niko Price is an American. He's 14-4 in MMA with 1 no contest on his record. He's 30 years old, 6 feet tall with a 76-inch reach. Niko has 6 wins, 4 losses, and 1 no contest on his UFC record. Most recently, he's coming off of a loss due to an injury to Vicente Luque, but he does have 3 first-round knockouts in the UFC. Niko's been working on his jiu-jitsu. He has a brown belt in jiu-jitsu right now, but he's definitely more of a striker with 10 wins by knockout and only 3 wins by submission right now. He does have 1 win by decision as well. Niko's been knocked out 3 times in his MMA career, and he's lost by submission 1 time. He has never lost a decision in MMA. Like I said, I love watching Donald Cerrone fight. I just don't want to see him suffer the fate of a guy like Jens Pulver, like BJ Penn, like so many others who continue to fight way past the time that they should be fighting. I don't want people to look at him like they look at Crazy Horse now or Felony. The interesting thing, though, is that Niko Price has also lost 4 of his last 8 fights. Niko Price has lost 4 of his last 8, and 3 of them were by knockout as well. So if there is a fighter that Donald Cerrone should fight, this is the fight for him right now. This fight makes sense. If there's a chance for him to come back and get a win against a good name, this is it. This is the fight that needs to happen. Niko Price is a wild striker. He throws himself out there and he lunges forward. He puts himself at risk a little bit when he throws some strikes. He throws some weird kicks that are hard to see coming. But for a kickboxer like Donald Cerrone, I think he should be able to see those kicks. I think Donald Cerrone is a little bit crisper and a little bit faster. And I'm actually going to pick him to win in this fight, even though I'm not excited to watch him fight. I think Donald Cerrone knocks out Niko Price in round 1.